Hey, Fabe, hey, radio. This is my review and recap of AEW Collision, April 13th, 2024. The first match of the night is the House of Black versus Top Flight and Matt Sydal. The baby faces use their speed and high flying to keep the advantage early until Brody King tags in and just wipes them all out. Match breaks down and it looks like a couple guys miss their time cues as it gets a little sloppy in spots. Brody dominates Matt Sydal inside and outside the ring. Quick tags from the House of Black as they cut the ring off and are absolutely killing Sydal. He hits a miracle Poison Rana, gets the hot tag to Dante Martin. Dante takes out everybody with his speed, quickness. Match breaks down again. They all hit big moves in rotation. Typical AEW multi-man match. Match ends with the House of Black triple team on Sydal, and they win. I thought this match was way too competitive. I thought this should have been like a 70-30 slight squash in favor of the House of Black, especially with their upcoming trios match with Briscoe, Kingston, and Copeland. But whatever, it is what it is. Gotta make Top Flight look somewhat respectable. So I guess that makes sense. Up next, Lee Moriarty versus Katsuyori Shibata. Back and forth mat wrestling early. Moriarty works the arm, tosses him into the rail on steps, shoulder first. Shibata no-sells a lot of chops once they get back in the ring. He answers with his own and a corner drop kick. They trade boots until Shibata hits a ripcord forearm and a PK for the win. Not much really to report here. Predictable outcome. Not sure why this even happened. I know they were both part of the 6-man with Jericho and Hook before, but I don't know how Shibata's still tied into all this, but it is what it is. Shibata gets the win. We get promos from Athena and Roderick Strong just to hype up their match on both their respective matches on Battle of the Belts, which is coming up. I hate the lady doing the interview. I wish they would have kept Dasha, but whatever. This interview lady's just awful. She's too expressive, and she just, I don't know, there's something about her. I don't like it. Up next is Angelico versus Daniel Garcia. Sorry to both these guys, but who cares? They do a gator roll figure 4 thing where they sort of trade the hold till they end up in the rope. Once they both release the hold, they have a childlike tantrum kick fight. Garcia ends up winning with a knee bar. As for Angelico, see you again in 6 months. I didn't understand this match. I didn't get the point of it. Guy that's barely on TV against a guy that had a push, then stalled, and then I don't know. He's just never be more than a mid-card guy. I don't understand this match. Anyway, moving on. Tony Storm versus AZM. A Stardom recruit who's getting national television time. See how this one goes. AZM uses their speed and educated feet for most of the match. Mariah May and Anna Jay end up fighting to the back. Storm takes over using her power and submission attempts. They go back and forth into a double down. AZM with a double stomp that looked more like a flying drop kick. Big suplex from Tony. Hip attack in the corner where the camera goes black and white, which I thought was kind of funny. And then she follows that up with a short pile driver for the win. Not a bad match. Good showcase for the Stardom people. Tony Storm gets another win. Looks strong heading into the Thunder Rosa match. Yeah, Tony's one of the best things going right now in AEW. So it's nice to see her get some TV time and have a decent match, because some of the in-ring stuff's been questionable lately. Red Velvet has a backstage promo. Nothing special. I just hate the interviewer. Again, with the weird facials and everything else. Mark Briscoe talks to the House of Black about the 6-man of Dynasty. Trying to figure out why it isn't just Copeland versus Malachi Black for the TNT title. I don't get why it's a 6-man, especially considering Copeland's 2 partners just had quite the battle for the Ring of Honor title at the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view, but again, whatever. Not my show to run. Now, Tony Schiavone's on the ramp. He forgets the name of the upcoming pay-per-view as he sort of stumbles, and then finally remembers it's called Dynasty as he introduces Thunder Rosa, who says she will do anything to beat Toni Storm. She claims she will represent all of her people and all of the women in the back. She says AEW is where the best wrestle twice during this promo. So apparently Tony Khan's got everybody saying it. And you got to look deep into the camera when you do say it. All this petty stuff's getting a little ridiculous at this point. Maybe start producing half decent weekly television, and then you can start taking shots at the other company that's on a roll right now with television and pay-per-view. Anyway, main event time. Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson versus Don Callis family members Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher. BCC dominate early outside the ring, but once inside, Claudio gets beaten down and the ring gets cut in half. Which kind of threw me off as to why Claudio got the beat down, considering they said in the pre-match promo how Hobbs and Fletcher were going to beat down Bryan Danielson to soften him up for his match with Will Ospreay at Dynasty, yet they do most of their offense on Claudio. Anyway, hot tags made to Danielson. He takes out both men. Yes kicks to Fletcher, and a flying knee on the floor to Hobbs. Claudio backdrops Hobbs into the front row. They all end up in the crowd briefly, just a short little brawl. They're quickly back around. Kyle Fletcher tries to expose the concrete floor, but the mats at ringside just don't cooperate. So they just call an audible, and he gets backdropped on the padded floor instead. Claudio's tagged in, and he throws at least 20 uppercuts between his two opponents. Then a giant swing and a sharpshooter on Powerhouse Hobbs. Multiple pin attempts by both teams. And back on the floor they go, and they try to put Danielson through the announce table. Claudio gets the save, and he hits her as he runs off the table and hits Hurricane Rana on Kyle Fletcher, sends Fletcher into the ring apron. He then rolls Fletcher into the ring, hits the neutralizer for the win. Post-match beat down by the Don Callis family as Takeshita comes down, and they leave Claudio and Danielson laying on the ramp as they leave. The main event saved this show. It was a very, very good tag team matchup. The rest of the show was a lot just throwaway stuff. Nothing I'm gonna go back and see, and I really only watched it once to do this review. I'm never going to go back and watch it. This tag match, I might go back a while down the line and watch it again, but yeah, nothing spectacular here. I'm curious if the Claudio pinning Kyle Fletcher leads to anything, considering Kyle Fletcher is the Ring of Honor Television Champion. Claudio being a former Ring of Honor World Champion, it might be a step down, but I think those two could have a great match together. Anyways, yeah, that was AEW Collision for April 13th, 2024, and this has been Kayfabe Hade Radio.